after the Premier League title and more than £2 million spent, the season for Liverpool was bigger than ever. After some ridiculous games to start the season, the luck has now dried down, leaving the Reds with 3 straight games lost. I think to start, after addressing the elephant in the room, which is that almost all of the Liverpool's new signings this summer have not played great, except maybe Ekitike, who had an amazing start to the season, but now with Isaac kind of coming in, you kind of also see him lose a bit of his brilliance and the spark that he's had throughout the season. Verts has now gone 008, which is something I now expect from Verts, and often we'll talk about the guys who have gone 007 and all that meme about. I don't like it because it's a meme and doesn't really talk a lot about the player. I think Verts has played better than what a lot of people seem to talk about that. But still, I see the issue of players who have gone 007 to the last couple of years. It's not really a group of players who Verts would like to be with. But still, I think with him, also Isaac is scored in the League Cup winner of Southampton. But apart from that, we've not seen him yet score Premier League goal for Liverpool. I'm going to put some reasoning behind that because obviously he didn't try to Newcastle pre-season, so he's coming to Liverpool very unfit. I'm never really seeing him get regular minutes and get 290 minutes in every single game. So there's a reason behind why Isak has not been performing well. Even Frimpong and Kenny Cage, 2 fullback signings, I don't think they performed to a great level yet. Frimpong has been battling out Conor Bradley for starting spot, and even such Rely has gained the nod over him at the right back spot. And even Kenny Cage is a guy that obviously was seen as a massive upgrade from Robertson from last year. I don't think Kenny Cage has been that great either. We just see him get subbed off early in games or that. So I think every single signing that they've made this summer, obviously Zach Leone, who had a pretty good debut, thank God injured. Apart from Ekitike, I think he's had an amazing start to the season. And I think if it wasn't for him, Liverpool would be in a much worse situation than they are right now. Apart from those two, I think every single summer signing that they made that was supposed to bolster the squad has not been playing great. I'm not here saying that they did not need those signings. In fact, I'm talking about this a lot of times already before season starts and etc. I think Liverpool did need some signings because last year, obviously, we saw a Liverpool team who won Premier League with this. Looking at competition, Arsenal was a team that obviously was definitely second best by a mile. But they were a lot of times injured, so like most of the times they couldn't really get their best 11 out there. City was a team that lost Rodri out of the season, and it's just found a way to play without them until like January. So from now then, it was already out of the league title. And apart from those two, they didn't have any more competition. So Liverpool got to a season of a Premier League title win without a lot of competition from other teams behind them. And I feel like that speaks a lot about why Liverpool needed to do some moves this summer, because teams around them, like Arsenal, made a lot of moves, Chelsea did as well, City did as well. And looking at the Liverpool team this past season, you could still find a lot of faults in that team. And for me, in my opinion, if they went with the same team in this season as they did last year, I don't think they would be able to get any much success as we did last year. Also, Ancelotti came in, they only brought Chiesa into the team, and they still managed to win the Premier League title. I think that's probably because more of like a competition around them than entirely what the team was playing for. So I think this year there was a way more demanding summer for them. They needed more signings, and they did that, and very well. I did not expect them to go so much all in on the signings, especially after a team went quarterfinals Champions League and didn't win the Premier League title, but they still went all in, perhaps even a lot more than they should have had, especially like Isak and Ekitike. Maybe the greed was kind of evident on those transfers, but still I feel like that it was needed. And so I'm not blaming Liverpool for making these transfers. I'm looking at reasoning as to why these guys together have not performed the level that maybe they should have had. As I also know, Liverpool went through a lot of exits this summer as well. Obviously, they brought in some players, but also a lot of players were brought out to obviously finance all these signings. And maybe the player that is lost has been the most evident so far this season is of Trent. Obviously, was a mixed feeling exit to start. A lot of fans still loved him afterwards, a lot of fans still hated him afterwards. And I think of all the losses that Liverpool has had throughout the summer to finance these incomings, I think Trent's exit was probably the one that's been feeling the most evident, or the one being feeling more impactful, because obviously they replaced Trent with Frimpong, and comparing those two players side by side, a lot of people kind of thought that's an upgrade. But those two players are very opposites of different type of players. Obviously, Frimpong is a guy that's expert in overlapping runs. It's a guy who's great with pace, can probably get a cross in the box from like really the byline line. And Trent is a guy that likes to have more of the ball in his feet. He's more of a technical player, let's say so. Obviously, both of them have a lot of problems defensively, But in terms of offensive type, both of them are very, very different players. Trent is a guy that with the ball his feet just helps a lot the squad, and I think that's what Liverpool's missing the most. Because last year Trent was really the main guy for build-up. You sometimes go to midfield, help the build-up for Liverpool, get line-breaking passes, break the defenses with those passes. It's a guy that with unlapping runs, you get a switch off play that will break the defenses, you get some passes in behind the defense. I thought that's a guy that was very, very important for Liverpool, not only in the first phase of the build-up, but also in the final third, in terms of creation. And Frimpong is a guy that does not deliver that, right? And obviously they've not brought in any guy that comes in and replaces the same level of outputs that Trent will give in the build-up, in the defensive end. Even final third, you don't have a guy right now that can create as much as Trent did last year. And the stats back it up that Trent is really the main source of these passing attributes. We saw last year the players with highest expected assists. Trent is definitely up top. And comparing to this year's numbers, you can definitely see a big decrease. And also the players around him also be able to create more. I think that speaks a lot about Trent. Also in the team, you can see how less creative they are right now. So I think these stats I'll really back up what I'm saying. Trent is a guy that not only helped the team create for itself, but also helped deliver space for other players to create too. And I think losing him, not being able to get a new player who's able to create as much, I feel like it's been a massive loss for Liverpool. Obviously, like Kerkesh, obviously, and the other fullback is also the guy who's able to do what Trent has done. I think it's very, very hard to get in a player who's able to do what Trent is able to do, because I think that maybe it's only right back in the world that can do offensively what he does. So maybe I wouldn't say that that the type of replacing the output that Trent has is by bringing in a new fullback and try to bring in a new right back. That's the same type of archetype as Trent. I don't think that's would be the way to go for. I think bringing a new midfielder who's more expert in the build-up phase, in dropping deep and helping the build-up, I feel like it would be a better, more smart option. And I do think that Arne Slot has drifted towards more of double pivots this season, with McAllister and Garbage mostly inside midfield pivots, kind of the way of trying to resolve that. Also, McAllister is a guy that's a little more leaning towards passing, but not a guy who's exceptional at that. It's not a guy who obviously replaces what Trent has been able to do. And Garbage is a guy that obviously is better with the ball in terms of running the ball with his feet and not with passing. So I think the impact that the line-breaking passes that Trent will do, the type of passes that Trent, I feel like Trent's influence in this team probably was less noted last season. And when you lose him, I feel like right now is way more evidence than when you had him. The phrase that says like, you don't know what happened until you lose it, I feel like it is the exact same with Trent and his outputs. Obviously, I don't think that team didn't know that, because obviously Trent renewed his contract. I feel like Trent was set on Real Madrid on a personal decision, not really on the financial reasons. So I think the team knew what to lose. I also don't think a lot of the fans that were kind of happy to see Trent leave because of the defending and other problems with him defensively. I don't think they realized how important he was to Liverpool's play style and their success was. I think even myself and like a lot of people were kind of talking heads in this sport. I don't think a lot of us realized how important he actually was for Liverpool. Also, a guy in the defensive line was not left, but also I feel like he has had a massive drop in performance is Konate. Obviously, last year we saw Van Dijk Konate probably being the best back pairing in the league. It's the second best after Gabriel and Saliba. And obviously, there's been a lot of links and rumors and noise around Konate, because this is the last year of his contract. We don't know if he wants to renew at Liverpool. We don't know if he wants to go to Real Madrid. We'll see the rumors. That feels like the most probable situation where Konate leaves again not again, like another player leaves to go to Real Madrid on a free this summer, and it feels like Konate can be that guy to go to. But I don't know if it's that the uncertainty around his fit at Liverpool, if it's any other reason. But Konate's form this year has been very, very underwhelming. Van Dijk was a guy that's obviously getting older, and I don't think, even though he's an amazing defender, I don't think he can carry a defense by his back, because like Frimpong is a guy that's not great defensively, and I'm not saying that he'll lose a lot defensively over him with Trent, because both guys are really bad defensively. At least Frimpong has a recovery pace that Trent didn't have. Neither Kerkesh, Robertson, I don't think they are really great guys defensively, both of them, and Kerkesh are the guy that really compensates defensively. So when you have a Van Dijk Konate as the main anchors of that defense, I think kind of speaks a lot about maybe the influence that Konate's dropping performance, if you have also Van Dijk. So we're seeing a very much broken down defense in that third as well, which means Liverpool has been way more open to goals, and it's been resulting in them conceding way more goals. And also, like, the double pivot they've gone through towards building right to McAllister and Gravenberch. Gravenberch is the guy that will be permanently the defensive midfielder, the anchor of the defense, that double pivot. Or McAllister is more of a technical player. Gravenberch is more of the guy who will have the most defensive roles. But I think also with what Arsenal trying to do with both McAllister and Gravenberch double pivot, which is both players have their freedom to attack when they want. So you see Gravenberch being way more involved in the final third than what he did last year, getting more goals, getting more assists, and I think because of that, we're seeing Gravenberch being less involved in the defensive actions, so I think he's less present in the defensive third, especially in transitions, and Liverpool have been far more open in that aspect as well. So I think obviously not only do Konate dropping performance, also I think that's a very big reason as to why they are hurting so much defensively. Also, like the double pivot, I don't think is also helping them a lot defensively. Going on to another player who's very much underperforming this season, and that is Mo Salah. Look about the guy who last year had the most minutes ever in a single season, right? He's been in Liverpool for what, 8 years maybe? Something around that, 8-7 seasons, and this season, as the season that he's played the most, even inside career, even considering the seasons he had with Basel and Roma, the last year was a year he spent the most time playing on the pitch. It was also his most successful season ever. It was a career best for him. It was a record season for a Premier League season. Was I think the season with the most contributions in the Premier League season ever. So for a guy to be doing that at his age is absolutely incredible. So obviously coming off that form with same manager, you kind of expect him to come into this season and kind of continue that form. But we're seeing a very different Salah to we saw last year. See the stats, you can see a very big decrease from last year to this year, and all the stats from this year that you have on your screen are his lowest ever recorded. Also about these stats, you only have recorded from the whole Liverpool career, so like before Roma and Chelsea and Basel don't have that numbers to kind of compare. But in his career with Liverpool, for the entirety of the 7-8 years spent at Merseyside, this season and these numbers are the lowest ever he recorded. And by some of these stats have actually been recorded before, even with Liverpool, and even considering those seasons in those stats, they were still the lowest ever recorded, obviously like in terms of contributions. Obviously at Chelsea had lowered, and also at Basel as well. But still, you don't expect a guy who's just had the best year of his life, who played the most football of his life. Obviously he can be also that could take a physical toll with him, but it has to be some less of an explanation as to why this decrease is going. I think I have the answer for that. Obviously, 3 new big signings came this summer. Isak, Ekitike, and Wirtz all come in terms of the front three or the offensive line, as we want to say. And all those guys, all three of them sides, prefer to play towards the left. All guys who been playing primarily on the left. And I feel like a lot of the Liverpool team now are kind of focusing more on the left because you don't have Trent on your right flank to provide a passage, right? Because before last year, by a couple of years, we had Trent on the right flank and it was your main source of passing and the guy that could solve your build-up. So you don't have that guy to go towards anymore. The right flank has a lot of gravity because of the losing Trent, and now you have Isaac and Wirtz who play more off the left. So you have both guys who obviously want to trust into because they're going to be the guys who are going to drop deep out the build-up, and that's made Liverpool focus way more on the left flank down the right flank, and that's made Salah being more isolated. It's been way less involved in the game than what they had in a couple of seasons. And you see that the numbers, I have some numbers here, the passing zones from Liverpool, attacking focus. If you saw like a game, for example, last year and a game from this year, you can definitely see a difference between how much they attacked towards the left flank and how much they attacked towards the right flank this year compared to last year. So I think this is a prime example of right now, the squad being going through a massive overhaul, and losing Trent again. I don't think that losing Trent to be this much of a loss. We also impacted Salah as well because Trent's the guy that probably be the guy who will get the most pressure off the ball at Liverpool, and the guy who's alongside Salah with a lot of those combinations right now. But now we're seeing Kerkesh and Isaac the combinations. We're seeing Isaac, Kerkesh and Gap the combinations. We're seeing Wirtz and Isaac the combinations on the left flank. And I can't do nothing but when I think Liverpool play, I see like all those players kind of drift more towards the left side, and seeing Salah on the right flank is just all alone by himself right there with one defender on him. And obviously I'm not saying he's not playing bad. I'm not saying this fault is playing bad. Of course, partially it is his fault because when the moment is added, it's not really been going up to his standards. But still, I feel like he was way less involved in the game than what he should have been, because obviously talking about one of the best players in Premier League this season, a player who's coming off a record year, to now being kind of neglected by some of his teammates and by the system, and by Simpsons alone in the flank, getting little support. And I think this change of play style has also hurt Salah a lot, not having the ball and being able to help Liverpool with the ball to kind of third them. I don't think Trent's loss is the only loss that kind of impacted this team. I also think losing Darwin, losing Luis Diaz, especially losing Darwin, a lot of people really don't imagine how bad that could be for Liverpool, because Darwin is more of a meme player throughout the whole time of Liverpool. But both those guys are guys that also left Liverpool, and Liverpool brought in Isaac Ekitike to replace them. Obviously, Ekitike and Isaac are guys who are kind of very similar, you know what I mean? Both guys like to drop deep, play more towards the left side, guys are going to go to the box and try to score, who both have height, but not great in the air. And also, like, then you have Gakpo and Salah, both guys who are kind of similar type wingers, guys are more eye for the goal than to kind of assist. When you lose Darwin, a guy who's a striker who likes running behind, and it's very different to what Ekitike and Isaac is. And also Luis Diaz, who, look at the front three, is kind of the only guy who can really get on the ball, attack with pace with the ball behind the defense, try to go after the fullback in the 1v1 situations, try to go past 2-3 players. I feel like in the front three what you need is a lot of different player archetypes. I don't think you're going to see the front three that's just able to do one thing. It's very one-dimensional. I imagine this front three, like, especially off the bench, you don't see a guy who's able to come off the bench and provide something different for Liverpool. You have Gakpo, you have Salah, you have either Isaac or Ekitike, who are able to deliver the same for you. I mean, what, you have Chiesa off the bench, you have Rio. I mean, I like Rio, but not a guy who's prepared to give you a massive role off the bench. Chiesa not a guy who's prepared to give you a massive role off the bench. So you lose both two guys in the summer, who are guys with probably the most space you have in your team. When defenses are tired, probably be guys who are going to be very easy to go up against and target their fullbacks. I think losing them and not being able to replace any of them with similar players to that team, and losing the type of attributes they won't give Liverpool, I feel like it's just very poor squad building, and something that maybe Liverpool should have looked towards in the summer, or trying to bring in both Isaac and Ekitike, guys who always are competing for the same spots, and both guys who kind of play the same way. I feel like when trying to keep Luis Diaz is probably a bigger solution. Trying to go after a player will give something related to what Luis Diaz and Darwin could do. I felt that was the biggest. I'll say I think it was the biggest priority this year, and it's not done that. Also, I won't talk about this, but I feel like it is a factor I have to put in on how Liverpool is playing this season. I feel like it's a factor that even though some people didn't like the excuse, when I think Van Dijk made it, but I feel like he has to talk about, because it is a big reason as to what Liverpool is going through right now. It is the passing of Jota. Obviously, as a guy, I didn't play football right in my childhood. I played handball, but I played handball for 15 years in my childhood, right? And for the entire 15 years, a lot of people I played my final year is the same people I played my first year and my first couple of years. And I grew up with these guys, right? I've been almost every single day with them. I played the sport we all loved, spent the happy moments of my life with them, and also the most saddest moments of my life with them as well. And I cannot imagine that if I went from a guy I grew up with, especially one of my closest friends that I grew up with from a short of my childhood, where I spent so many good and sad moments with him, and going from being able to talk with him every single day, to be able to have him just on my side, to then in the blink of an eye, just not having him anymore, not being able to talk to him, not being able to see him anymore. I feel like a lot of people are undermining or like just underestimating the damage that could do to a person. Especially because, like, obviously the football players, their whole job right now is playing football. They spend every single day, every single hour with these players. And shout out to one of those players. I feel like a lot of people, especially some of the testaments that some people did on how good of a person Jota was, I feel like he was a very big influence in the dressing room. Obviously, I don't think like some players might not feel as affected as some, because a lot of players just joined this past year or this year. But still, I feel like Van Dijk, Salah, the guys who have been there for a lot of years already. Jota was there, 4 to 5 years maybe. to lose one of your best friends is could be very hurtful, right? And I think obviously a lot of people said that when Van Dijk made the excuse, I think it was Van Dijk made the excuse of them obviously the passing of Shota being able to hurt them a lot throughout this season. Some people said that, I mean, it's been 2 months or 3 months, it should be great, it should be good by now. I feel like it doesn't, right? I don't think time doesn't necessarily heal all your wounds. I think, especially like considering what your job is, and you've done your job every single day in the past years with that guy, I can't, like, I have to imagine them obviously going out to Anfield, like being there in the tunnel, walking out to the pitch, and imagine them that maybe 5 months ago, Jota was with them, and now he's not gonna ever be anywhere near them. Also, you have a lot of players who leave teams every single year, right? And some are hurtful than others. But it's not about leaving a club, right? Because you can still talk to them, you can still visit them in the middle of the year. No, you don't talk about a guy anymore. And I've gone through some people's passings in my life, and I can confidently say that it hurts a lot. And I feel like time doesn't really heal all the wounds. And I should remember before the season starts, I don't know which pundit said that, but I know a pundit which said that Liverpool should just scrap this year and just give up this year in terms of just trying to recover from this passing and not trying to make them hurt even more, just to play a few football games. And I think maybe for the fall, football could be very much be a remedy to those guys, and it could help them a lot. So I don't think that was necessarily what they would have done. But to seeing a pundit, a guy who was in football for a lot of years and played sports, I guess, for his entire career, say that about players passing, I feel speaks tons about how every single one of us, or every single person who has had a career surrounded by amazing people playing a sport, it just speaks a lot about how a passing of a person next to you could do. That was just being like, oh, it's 2 months gone by, it should be right now, just grow up. I don't think that's the case. I feel like a lot of people underestimate the power of emotions and the mentality of sports. I think nowadays we see more and more players like just not succeed because of like problems with themselves and problem with mentally. And I feel like in football we have to grow more a better cause or more attention to this problem, because I feel like it is a very deep problem. So also, I'm not saying that Shota's passing is the only reason to why they've not been playing that great. I don't think it is, because I've spent a whole videos talking about all reasons. But I also think it is a very big reason, and perhaps a bigger reason than some of the tactical reasons we're seeing here, especially for like guys like Van Dijk, maybe even Konate as well, and Salah, because like these kind of emotions and kind of laws transmit to people in different ways, right? Person A not respond the same way to a person's passing towards person B will. So I feel like a lot of people will be damaged, and it's gonna take a while for them to really recover. So I feel like I'm seeing this right. I feel like I should ask give time to the Liverpool team, give time for them to figure out how to play together, because obviously it's a big squad turnover. It's gonna be difficult to just in an instant play together very easily, because also it was a very big tactical switch as well. And also like just this whole situation with your shot, and that is very sad. Also just give it time. I don't think it's anywhere near time to the panic button. I don't think so. I think it's time to just give them more time, accept what they've gone through, and give them some space to really go through all the emotions.